Hi and welcome to another live stream this week. My son just left, so we have the whole house to ourselves. Yeah, school started again. Everything's sort of going back to normal, so I'm not going back to normal. That's not an option. I've been working this week, and yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that later. There are a lot of people in the chat. I saw Libby and Beth and Dylan and Ariana and Linda. If you're new here, if you're watching for the first time or 10th time, doesn't matter, and you want to go ahead and chat in the chat, you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and then you can, like after a minute, you can join us in the chat so that we don't get overwhelmed with trolls and other people who can't join our art club. Alright, so last week I finished the portrait that we worked on, I think, for about 4 live streams. And, well, that was the thing, right? I've been working on my paintings a lot, so I wanted to do some experiments that I have written down in my sketchbook. And let me just alright, so let me show you what I was working on. Hold on. So I was working on these. These are actually charcoal, and this one as well. These are charcoal on paper, and I love charcoal on paper, but it's a different vibe than paint, right? And what I've wanted to do for a while, oh, my abs. What I wanted to do for a while was try and see if you can sort of get that that veiled effect that charcoal gives you, that graphite gives you with oil paint. Because I have this weird inner desire to always be trying if I can see if I can if I can try stuff in paint. So let me show you, let me turn on the reference photo for a bit. I just picked one. I have a bunch of other, these are photos I took a while ago and didn't really use, I think, for anything in particular, and I just took a screenshot of the thumbnail and then dumped a whole lot of filters on top of it. Let me show you what I have. So I have some Ivory Black. This is Ivory Black by Old Holland. It's called Ivory Black Extra, and I'm not sure where the extra comes in. I have some Titanium White. And then I have white gesso squares and black gesso squares on paper. And I got a bunch of stuff that we can add to it. So my idea for today is to see if we can work a little bit with transparent layers and see what kind of effects we can make. So I have some Gamsol, and then I have some oleogel, which is a solvent-free gel based on linseed oil. And then I have this one. This is, you're gonna have to check my word for it. This is Gamblin, Galkyd, Lite. So Galkyd is basically an alkyd medium. Alkyd is a resin. I like resins because they dry to or dry, not they oxidize, I suppose, as well, to a very solid paint layer. So I like alkyds in my oil paint. I'm gonna go grab my own reference. And what I would like to see is what happens when we put black on white, and what happens when we put white on black. I have this little appelstroop cap. I'm gonna put some Gamsol in there. I found my water-soluble Lucas oil paints. Yes, good. I like Lucas. It's called Berlin, right? The water-soluble oil paints, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I got my paints. Oh, guys, by the way, if I come across as a little bit woozy, it's because I had to torture my cat, because my cat now also has diabetes. And yeah, so I had to prick her ear and get blood and then test the blood. And my cat is like California Reaper level spicy, right? That was intense. All right, so I'm gonna start with the Gamsol. Yeah, and I don't know why I picked such a small brush. It's kind of weird. The charcoal has also been found. This is wonderful. So, Gamsol, I'm pretty sure you all know this, but Gamsol is a relatively low toxicity, low toxic, anyways, it's not as toxic as, say, turpentine, yeah? And so I use it in unventilated spaces because I don't have a ventilated space, and I'm fine with it. Like it doesn't give me headaches or anything like that. So Gamsol is a solvent, and the first thing that you notice immediately is that your paint gets very watery, right? It loses, it's almost as if it loses all of its sort of tackiness, you know, all of its body. And so I think in a classical setup, you would kind of use this as an under painting. I know a lot of people use it to stain their canvas before getting started. But I wanna, don't go away. This is the downside of having your your palette kind of not flat. I want to see if I can use it maybe in a little bit more of an unconventional way. I just want to slap it around a little bit. It's not time again. Where we have to slap things around. Right, so even though it dries fast compared to oil paint, right? But it still has a decent open time. As in, it doesn't dry as fast as acrylics. That's kind of cute. It's fun that you can make marks in it. Try a little bit more. Alright, so you can also, if you put it on places where you don't want it, you can just take a little bit of Gamsol and kind of wipe that off. What I have noticed, by the way, is that, which is kind of obvious, but it takes me way too long to realize this, is that it behaves differently on paper. Like, I put one layer of gesso on it, but it behaves a little bit different on paper. Like last time with the portrait, where I put the Gamsol on, I noticed that it really soaks into the paper even though it's oil paint paper. So it works very differently than when you put it on a panel. It's more slippery on a panel, right? So that also affects the way that it behaves, basically. Let me catch up. The charcoal is back. I can only imagine with the kitty. Yeah, I wrapped her in a towel burrito, basically, but ooh, she screams. Like, I'm very happy that she doesn't bite me or claw my eyes out, but she screams so loud. So my neighbors were like, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, kinda." Cat had to get some sort of solution with a needle. Like, ooh, okay, I'll stop. I will stop complaining now. I love how you all lose things and then they turn up in the most obvious place, because that happens to me daily. Cool. Let's try some white. Yeah, let's try it. Let's try white. I'm gonna put it here before it drips into my black. Can I clean that up a little bit? And then put some Gamsol. Stay there. Stay there. It's gonna be fine. I think this might actually be a little bit too... Oh, spray. Do you see that? That is strangely cool, and it reminds me of elementary school. Did you guys do that, where you had the sort of those steel, what's it called, with the grid, the steel grid, and then you would take a watery paint and then a toothbrush and then spray that on paper or your neighbor. Good times. That is kind of cute. Your dog defending your cat. Yeah, when it's time, it's time is really hard. She's actually doing, like, my cat's actually doing quite well on some kind of fancy new medication. But yeah, she's just spicy. Oh, look at this. What happened here? So you can really see that, like, the titanium white is very... Go away. The titanium white is very opaque, which is kind of obvious. It's a different way of working. But this is kind of cool, like it still comes off. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that, like, the Lite upon white that we used last time would be kind of ideal for this, because it has like this natural transparency, so you don't have to push it. That's hard to get that transparent effect that you want. Kind of like it. Let's see. Cat diabetes is manageable. Yeah. Yeah, it is. They actually have this new medication, which is, I think it's an inhibitor, so that you don't have to stab them with the insulin, which is great. I just have to test the blood sugar. Okay, let's, I have a bristle here, like the brush I was using is this one, which is soft acrylic, synthetic, and this is a bristle. So let's go ahead. Yeah, so let's do some Galkyd. Let me clean up a little bit. So just for the record, as in like in terms of paint layer stability, you can paint over this, obviously, over the Gamsol layers with anything that is more slow drying than paint thinned with Gamsol, which is basically everything in regards to oil paint, right? You can put oil paint on it. You can put oil paint on it with some medium. You can put oil paint on it with some Galkyd medium. It really doesn't matter, because this is like a very fast drying layer. And yeah, I think, you know, I feel like you could, instead of just using it for an underpainting, I feel like you could maybe do a lot more with that. So let's try the Galkyd medium. I put it in this plastic container I bought at the art supply store, because Gamblin makes bottles that are, you can open them once and then they just go like on lockdown or something. Right. So they have two. You're gonna drip on me too. They have two Galkyd mediums, Gamblin. They have, I'm gonna use a different reference photo, by the way. You can find all of them in a link in the description. So they have two Galkyds, if you will. One is Galkyd, and the other one is Galkyd Lite, and that's the one I have. Galkyd Lite dries a little bit slower than just straight up Galkyd, okay? But I think it still dries pretty quickly, pretty fast. And so I use the Lite. Sorry. I'm trying to tell my brain that I'm working, you know, additive, like with one layer, because my brain is thinking that we're going to add some white. Now, that was not the plan. So, Galkyd. I can't tell you scientifically on like a chemistry level what an Galkyd is. It's a resin-based medium. So it's different than, it works differently than oil-based mediums. There are some people who swear by it. There are some people who go like, oh no, don't, blah blah blah. Conservatory issues. I don't even know what. From what I understand, it works just fine. And it helps you speed up your drying time a little bit. And that is sometimes just all that we want. Also adds some gloss, and it adds some flow. There are other Galkyd mediums. Probably the one that you all know is Liquid by Winsor & Newton. But Liquid, to me, I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's kind of like a genetic culantro type thing. Liquid smells like death to me. I don't know how people deal with that. Like, that smells bad. Some people are fine with it, so. I'm answering all your questions. That's good. Send me more questions mentally, please. I will answer them. All right, let's see. But you can tell, right, the level of transparency is different here and here. Let's see if we can pick some up with some Gamsol. That would be fun. Oh, that works well. That works well. Well-ventilated room definitely gives you a headache. My teacher gave me her Liquid because she couldn't stand it. I haven't tried it. Try smelling it. Really. I had the Liquid. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this. It smells like a chemistry lab explosion. Then I bought the Galkyd, which is fine. Like, it's not odorless, but it basically smells like Gamsol. And then I also bought a similar Galkyd medium by Zenolier, and that one smells like Liquid. And I don't really understand why, because I know there's solvent in it, but not that much apparently, so I'm not really sure what's up there. So the thing with Galkyd, and that's the one, I wouldn't say issue, but the one thing you kind of need to figure out is that once it starts drying, it tacks up a little bit, right? You get that tacky feeling. But before that happens, it's you can work it around. And I kind of like it because it gives a little bit more viscosity to your oil paint, whereas Gamsol just runs everywhere. Not looking forward to that headache. No, I can imagine that. I have Galkyd oil paints, which are very strong smelling too. On a plus point, the painting is ready. Yes, I also bought the Winsor and Newton Griffin, it's called, right? So I think they put a little bit of liquid into the oil paint, and I saw what's his name? I can't remember his name. Anyways, he uses regular oil paints, and then he uses an Galkyd oil paint as his white. And I was like, that's smart, because you know whites are so so very slow drying. And I bought a tube. Oh, it smells so bad. I can't handle it. I don't know why. So I'm taking some of that out with a little bit of Gamsol. Let's get a little bit more. Oh. I think there was still a little bit of Gamsol on my brush. See a little bit of yellow appearing anywhere. It's one of my brushes, I think, was still dirty. I don't know, I'm kind of liking this. I mean, it looks like crap, but like the process is interesting to work like this. Kind of gives me some ideas. Yeah, Griffin. Sorry, yeah, it's a different pose. Again, the link is in the description. If you hit the link in my to my website, you can find the different poses. So with Galkyd, I've heard people say once you use an Galkyd medium, you need to use it in every layer. I'm kind of inclined to say that it's being said so that all the layers like chemically have something in common. I would still, you know, with this stuff also follow the slow over fast drying rule basically. So you could technically start using less and less Galkyd medium, or you can use the same amount of Galkyd medium, but you could use less Galkyd medium on top of this. Hey, Kosha. Hey? Hey? Hello. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's fun stuff. And for the longest time I used Galkyd medium only to sign my paintings. I was a little bit like, that's the thing, like everybody has such a strong opinion on it. They go like, no, you're gonna destroy your paint, it's gonna be this and gonna be that. So it gave me a bit of a headache. And yeah, just, you know, be smart about it. You follow the rules the best you can, and you know, if we all become famous, then we'll have a whole team of people maintaining our stuff. And if not, then can you imagine having someone trying to determine what your painting is made of for conservation? And they're like, I think there are like 25 layers of 5 different mediums. Cool. Can you do the demonstration sometimes with the water-soluble oils? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do that next time. I'm thinking I would do an acrylic underpainting for the water-soluble oils first. Yeah? Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, they behave like normal oils. So let's see where we're at. Wow. Let's try some white. Probably not gonna do 6 thumbnails, so the oleogel will have to wait. I wasn't really looking forward to doing a whole painting with just oleogel. That's gonna be very slippery. Galkyd. I think my cat is hungry. She just comes complaining. My cat's name is Kosha. I'll put it in the chat. Oh. Kosha. Kosha. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, so the JE at the end of any Dutch word basically sort of makes it small, right? So we have these 2 letters or 3 depending on the word, and instead of saying little tree, we say tree and then with the extension JE behind it. So basically her name is like, we put it sometimes behind animal names to sort of cutify them, if you will. It's a very strange, I tried to explain to my, I think it was about 20 years ago, my cousin came here for a vacation from Palestine, and he was trying to learn some Dutch words, and he was like, how does this work? I don't get it. It was the first time I realized, like, that was a thing that other people don't do. You had an on with, oh, that's cute. That's nice. Husband's report about, oh. Oh, more waiting, yeah. I'm gonna clean my bristle a little bit and then see with a little bit of, oh, that's too much, a little bit of Gamsol, if we can sort of soften those edges, maybe. Is it raining, Lummy? Yeah, it's raining. It's raining. We've gotten quite used to waiting this, but yeah, I know, but still. My mom had a skin cancer lump in her arm. I'm glad to hear she's okay now. It's raining very hard here. Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, it is raining. But yesterday was very dramatic. Ooh, I like this. I wasn't really paying attention, but I kind of like it. Looks very dramatic. So I'm just dropping a little bit of Gamsol in the paint that I have on. It's getting more dramatic as it I kind of like it. This is kind of what I was looking for, I think. Yeah, that's kind of fun. See if we can, oh, I have all my white here. Oh, bless you. Sneezing around. Your mom is, oh, I'm sorry she passed away. I don't want to think about that My mom turned 71 yesterday, so she's gonna be like 200, so it's not a problem at all. So this weird thing is a tiny brush, and I put acrylic paint in it and I let it dry, and now it's like more like a stick. But it's like my favorite stick, so. Your parents are 90. Damn. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I think, yeah. Like my father died like 10 years ago. But, you know, my mom raised me and we lived with my mom, and like my mom is my mom. For me, it's kind of different. I can imagine that for other people, it can also be different. But yeah, I wasn't like, it was sad. My dad didn't get to be very old, but yeah, I don't think it's the same for me. All right, that's cool. I like this one the best. You kind of progress through. Let me put caps on things before I start making a mess again. There. Cool. All right, let me see. So happy they're still here, and yet, yeah, you do think about losing them. I really feel like in the last 5 years or something, that idea, you know, that there is going to be an end to my mother's life keeps popping up more, and it sort of freaks me out. But maybe it's like life's cue that you need to come to terms with that, hopefully very slowly. Like, give me another 20 to 25 years and I'll be fine. No, congratulations for everyone. Just kidding. Yeah, I wish instead of doing all the stupid crown thingies and awards, they would actually let you reply to people in the chat. That would be great. YouTube, that's a really good suggestion. Alright, I had fun. Like, I kind of needed this because I've been working on my paintings all day, and yeah, you know, you kind of feel this drive to try some stuff out. I had fun. I like this. I like this idea of, you know, the white going, it's very gray, right, compared to this. And I can imagine you can do a lot of washes, sort of washes with this, and then really build something up or bring something forward. Yeah, I like this very much. The reverse for me is always more difficult. Like, I find it easier to pull a figure out with white instead of doing this, but this is always good practice. In my course Foundations, we did a project where we started with this transparent black in the background, and I think I explained that there is a difference between putting black washes on a white background and putting white washes over a black background. And you can see that very clearly here in terms of texture, what you can get, and in terms of, yeah, like the color temperature you could potentially work with that. But especially I like black on white because you can really put a lot of marks into it. I like the Galkyd as well. Like, it has a little bit, like I said, a little bit more viscosity. It feels a little bit more like maybe fluid acrylic paint, whereas this feels like watercolor, right? But with the Galkyd, I kind of like the white on black as well. What I like is the, you know, the kind of the combination where you can, if you have a paint layer, you can kind of disturb it by putting some Gamsol in and sort of break it up. Yeah, I had fun, and maybe do a few more. I'm gonna see what the drying time, like this is dry, right? So pretty much 40 minutes. And this is also dry. This is still wet. But we did these last, so that makes sense. Let's see. I love all these studies, thank you. Yeah, try oils. Try something new. Don't be too like me and get all overwhelmed with the rules you have to follow and Lord knows what. I enjoyed watching you today, learning about oil mediums. My favorite is the one on the bottom left. Yeah, this one is cool. I like that one too. Top right too. Yeah, it's quirky. It's cute. Ramona says, "Lovely, so painterly, almost ghostly." Was kind of what I was looking for. That effect, maybe if I could play with that. So that's really cool that came across. All right, thank you, everyone. Next week, we do not have a live stream because I have parental responsibilities. That's life. So next week I will be in my son's school learning about exams and stuff. So kind of sucks more for him than for me, but still. So next week, no live stream. 2 weeks from now, live stream, water-soluble oils. Thank you for suggesting it, because now I'd have come up with something. Nice that they're already dry. Yeah, they are dry. These are dry. The pure Gamsol. And I really do think that the paper also helps. I think if you have a panel, it might take a little bit longer in my experience. But on paper, it dries pretty quickly. So I will see you in 2 weeks and on social media. Thank you for joining me. Have a great week. And I will see your artwork on social media, and I will talk to you later. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Mwah.